Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full practice. This week we're working with the theme of courage. So I'm going to take us through a quiet centering, and then I'll go through some inspirational quotes on courage, and then I'll weave this theme into the practice today, where we're going to focus on strength and maybe some back bends and an inversion, and of course, everything else to help open up the shoulders and the whole body. So if this is something you like, please subscribe, because I do a different class every week with a different theme and a different focus. So let's go ahead and get started. Just reach the hands down to the floor and take a moment to notice the muscles you're sitting on or your pelvic floor. We call that Mula Bandha, and that means root lock. So above that, below the belly button, draw the belly in and get a sense of lifting upward. We call that Uddiyana Bandha, and it means flying upward. At the top of the spine, just draw the chin down, and we call that Jalandhara Bandha, and that's the chin lock, and it seals in the energy of the bandhas. So now that the bandhas are engaged, you're supported from within. So you can release the hands and just begin to focus now on your breath. So as you inhale, keeping the bandhas engaged, just notice, can you inhale into the entire circumference of your rib cage? And then as you exhale, feel how the rib cage very naturally relaxes. Inhale, feeling the rib cage fill up, and then exhale, feeling the rib cage relax. One more time, big breath in, and exhale. Let's take the hands together in prayer position, and we'll vibrate together in Om, and then I'll go through the quotes. Inhale. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Courage. I like that one that says it's not the absence of fear, but the willingness to just get up every day and try. And I kind of think that's the trick to just being human. Let's go ahead and get on all fours, and we'll just start to move. So even though you might be afraid of something, you can modify it to a point where it's beneficial and maybe not so scary. Let's go ahead and round the spine, especially if you're aware of what you're doing. So right now we're stretching the spine by pulling the belly in. As I come forward, I'm engaging the back muscles and opening the front, especially the front of the shoulders and chest. And then exhale, rounding the back, just being very aware of what's going on. And inhale throughout this whole practice, arching the back. And then let's come to neutral spine, pull the belly in, push down, and find yourself in downward facing dog, and just notice what's going on in your body today. Maybe you want to bend the knees to get the back a little bit more lengthened, and then work to straighten the legs. Just do the best you can here. You can bend a couple times and straighten. And I'm really reaching through my shoulders and trying to externally rotate them away from my ears. So really reaching. And then from here, let's slowly make our way up to the front of the mat. So you can bend the knees as you walk up. Just take your time. And you can find yourself in a nice hip width or wider position for a moment, and just let your head hang here. You can grab the elbows and just let everything be nice and open. And let's slowly curl up. So you can bend the knees, stacking the spine, feeling the belly pull in to support the spine as you curl all the way up to standing. The shoulders fall down and into place. And just pause for a moment, and then we'll step everything together for Samasthiti, standing still and straight. And we're going to go ahead and start our sun salutations. Before we do that, I always practice with a set of blocks and a little towel, but you could use a yoga belt or you don't have to use any props. So here we go. Inhale, reach up. Feel the shoulders elevate and externally rotate. They're rotating away from my ears. Exhale, fold. Notice, can you draw the belly in? Notice what your first forward bend feels like. Really come into it. And then inhale, lengthen. Go ahead and take it back to a plank. Find a nice strong plank. So I'm protracted, the shoulders are widening. I'm gonna do a push-up on my knees because I can hold on to this alignment better. Lower down. We're gonna make each one of these have some benefit for our body and develop strength. So I like to do a push-up there. And then inhale here. Here's a back bend. The shoulders are drawing away from my ears. Lift the knees if you can, tail under, or keep them on the floor if that feels better in your back. And then we'll take it back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Inhale. Keep drawing your belly in. Exhale and keep reaching. Inhale. And exhale. Nice deep inhalations, deep exhalations. And let's make our way up to the front. So pushing down to lift up, push down, lift up. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Reaching. And exhale, hands down. Let's do one more, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Hands down. Inhale, lengthen. And let's go ahead and take it back. Find that strong plank. Lots of strength going on here as you lower into this push-up and push back up. And then let's come forward. Here's a back bend. Take the tail under, lift the sternum. I'm gazing down my nose and up, lift, and then exhale, take it back. And breathe, inhale, and reach, exhale. Keep breathing, inhale, and keep reaching, exhale. One more big breath in. And exhale. Now let's slowly make our way up. Pressing, lifting, making it up to the front. And fold. Inhale, lengthen. And rise. Exhale. Surya Namaskar B. I'm going to use the blocks for this. It gives me a little bit more height. They give me a little bit more height and allows me to feel like I'm floating. Reach up, and I love that. And fold. Inhale, lengthen. I'm gonna lightly hop back, keep my shoulders where they are, lift up to go back. And then we're gonna lower and rise. And coming through, big breath in, lift, feel the back bend. And then exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and step the right foot forward. I always like to start with a lunge because it helps open up the hips and the sternum when we do the back bend. So bend the front knee and take your tail under and feel that stretch. So it's a good warm up for warrior one. Find your angel arms. Now start to straighten the legs as you feel the back engage and then reach the arms. Keep reaching, keep lifting. Feel that back bend. And then inhale, rise up, reach forward, taking the hands down, stepping back. Let's lower down. Find that push up nice and strong, push up. And then come through, feel the back bend, lifting the sternum, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's go to the left side. Lift that left leg up. Start to rise up. Let's take a moment to bend the back knee, the right knee, so that you feel the hip flexors on the front of that thigh, and then really engage under that butt. We take these angel arms because they help us engage in the back muscles. We engage in the back muscles, try to straighten the back leg as best you can, and then reach when you're ready. Inhale, exhale, inhale, rise up, reach forward, and let's step back. And let's go ahead and lower. And rise. It takes a lot of strength, but it's awesome. It feels so good. Lift up and back. When you have strength supporting the flexibility and the mobility. It really feels amazing. Inhale. And the fear starts to go away because you feel supported. Breathing so you can go deeper. Let's find a gaze point. You can walk up or you can lightly lift up and fold. And the blocks made it so that was a little lighter for me. Bend the knees and come to stand. Let's do one more. Surya Namaskar B, but this time with Warrior One. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Let's make our way back. Nice and light, lift. And let's go ahead and lower. And rise. And come through. Inhale. And exhale, taking it back. Now we're gonna step up for Warrior One. So now I want you to take the back heel down and start to rise up the same way. We're taking this left butt under, pulling the right butt back, really engaging the back muscles as we lift up to go back. And then rise up. You're gonna reach forward, take the hands down and step back. And let's go ahead and lower. And then rise and come through. Feel the back bend. And exhale. Let's do the other side. Inhale. We're gonna take the back foot down. Reach the arms. Feel this right butt under. Pull the left butt back. Feel the back engage. Inhale. Exhale. And then start to rise up. Reach forward. Take the hands down. And let's lower. And rise. And come through. Feel the back bend here. Inhale. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then we just adjust here and breathe. Inhale. Keep reaching. Exhale. Make sure your belly is lifted. Inhale. Exhale. And one more breath. Exhale. You can find that little target. Push down, lift way up, and lightly land and fold. And then bend the knees, reach the arms, and come to stand. Let's come to Samasatihi just for a moment, and then we'll take the feet out. Hip width, or you could go a little wider if you needed to. Now feel your pubic bone, belly button on the same plane, and lift your belly, and feel you come forward from your hip socket so your low back doesn't round. But do the best you can. Let's take the hands on the shins for a moment and try and straighten the legs and get your back really lengthened. And then from there, now it's okay to hinge a little deeper in the hips, and it's okay to round a little here and take your head down, shoulders away from your ears, and just try to straighten your legs as best you can. Breathe, breathe. And then inhale, lengthen. And you can take the arms out to the side. Feel how open that is. Reach up, and then bring everything together for Samasatihi, standing still and straight. And let's go ahead. I'm gonna set up the blocks for some standing poses. So one at the front and one at the back. And then we'll go ahead and step out. Let's come into Trikonasana. So I'm gonna turn the left foot in and the right foot out. And just notice how that feels when you turn out from the hip socket. And then from here, reach the arms, open the sternum, and start to come forward. You could move your block so that it's right under your armpit as best you can, or you could use your leg, whatever works in your body. And then we're gonna really work on externally rotating or opening those shoulders as I reach up. Really open the shoulders and breathe so they're not rolling in, rolling away from your ears, and then rise up. We'll go to the other side. So pivoting, inhale here, really open. Exhale, put your block so it's under the armpit, or you could be here. Reach up, and I'm gonna really work on opening away from my ears, not towards my ears, away, and really feel that. Breathe. And then inhale, rise up. Let's try Parivrtta Trikonasana, which is a little bit more of a balance pose because the hips are facing the same direction. So we'll start by reaching the left arm. And I like to sometimes use this right hand to really pull that right hip back and get deep into that forward fold. Then it becomes a twist when you take your hand down. You could be here too. And from here now, you want to really turn the ribs, not the hips. Now I'm going to really try and open this right shoulder as much as I can. Really open it and reach, reach, reach. This one can be scary. You have to have courage and know that if you lose your balance a little, it's okay. And let's pivot. Sometimes it happens. Now let's reach the right arm, and you can take your left hand in the left hip and really kind of deepen that crease as you come forward, lengthening through your back. Find that first, then the hand comes down. It could be here too. And then we want to really work on opening this left shoulder as you come around. Really open that shoulder. So in other words, you're using the back muscles here too, right? Engaging. And then inhale and rise up. Now let's go ahead and turn for Warrior Two and Konasana. So a little bit longer stance here, and feel the external hip rotation here in that front leg. And we're trying to get a nice right angle here, as best you can though. And then let's come into Warrior Two. Let's start by palms facing up and really opening. Really feel the shoulders open away from each other, and then keep that and turn the hands down and gaze. Breathe, maybe you can go a little lower. And then from here, Utthita Konasana, side angle. You could go here. You could have your arm here. I'm going to use the block. And then let's go ahead and reach that left arm up, and roll the shoulder open. What does that feel like? Right? And then from there, without letting the shoulder roll in, we're reaching. Reach. So the shoulder's rolling away from my ear, not towards it. And reaching. Breathing. You can gaze up, maybe straight ahead. And then from here, let's reach back up again, open, and rise up. Let's go to the other side. So the right foot turns in, left foot turns out. So really feel this coming into almost a right angle, or a right angle for some of you, and then flip your palms and really open the shoulders. Feel that. Now keep that, let the palms come down so it doesn't change when the palms come down, and gaze. And then from here, Utthita Konasana. So we start to come down. You could go here, here. I'm going to use the block. And let's reach straight up this time. Roll that right shoulder open. Feel the back bend here almost. Yeah, without exaggerating. And then we're going to go ahead and turn the hand this way. But let the shoulder roll away from your ear as you do that, not towards your ear. You're really getting a lot of length. You could look up, or you could look straight ahead, whatever felt good in your body. And then reach back up again and rise. And then from here, we're going to come into Parivrtta Konasana, but first Anjaneyasana. So let's go ahead and take the back knee down. Make sure you're a little forward of your knee so you're not right on your kneecap. You could also use your little prop for a pad if you needed to. And then let's come into Anjaneyasana. So keep that left butt under. We'll start to lunge forward. Lift the sternum, so feel your shoulders going down your back. And what's happening with these angel arms is your back is engaging. You're getting a nice strong back. Engage the back and open the front. And then reach. Shoulders away from your ears. Reach, reach, reach. And then inhale, rise up. And from here, we're going to come across to Parivrtta Konasana. So just take your ribs across. I'm trying to get my left ribs across. And then when you are across as far as you can, take your hands to prayer position, tuck the back toes. I like to look at my front foot, and then really roll that right shoulder open as you come across. Breathe, 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 and then inhale, using your butt a lot, rise up. And then we'll go to the other side. Let's go ahead and take the back knee down. And then from here, really notice, can you turn on these muscles under this butt so you get a nice stretch here? And then we engage the back muscles here. So shoulders are down, but there's a sense of width as you lunge forward. So the back is engaging, front is stretching, supported stretch. Reach, 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 reach. And then inhale, rise up. Let's go ahead and take this across. So take your right arm across and really get those ribs around as best you can. Now I like to gaze down at my foot. It keeps me balanced. Rise up and then turn. Try to really open that left shoulder and turn, turn, turn. And then inhale, use your butt, rise up. And let's come to Prasarita Padottanasana. So from here, it just means spread out, forward bend. From here, we're just gonna come forward. Inhale, exhale, come forward. Let's just take the hands down, walk them through, and take your head down. Shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. Inhale, and exhale. Stay connected to your breath. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Take the hands on the waist and rise up. And let's take everything together. We're going to step up to the front of the mat, Samasatihi for a moment, and then we're going to come into Utthita, Hasta, Padangusthasana, forward and out to the side. So that's just the big toe pose, the standing balance. So we'll start on the right side. I encourage you to use the wall because we're helping develop a lot of strength in that standing leg and a lot of opening, first a forward bend and then an open with the other leg. So the wall will help give you that support you need to maybe go a little deeper, maybe get rid of some of that fear and stay in that place of courage. Now we'll go ahead, grab the toe, find a focus point that's a little down and forward, a drishti, and then see if you can come forward. Maybe you don't have to use the wall, but it can always be there for you. And then rise up. Now, as you open, keep that tail under and see if you can be expressive here. Can you find a back bend? Lift up and just go to where, and you always have the wall, right? So you never have to be afraid. Let's leave the leg out there. What does that feel like? Do you want to use your wall? And down. So when you have your support here, there's very little to be afraid of. So feeling that right leg, the standing leg, lift the left leg up. And then go ahead and grab the toe. Your drishti or your gaze is forward and down, lift up. Now feel a forward fold. Maybe you can let go here and there. Just notice what's going on. Shoulder away from your ear. Rise. Open. Have some fun here. Tail down, really explore. Explore, where can you go? And then let's go ahead and bring it back. And you can leave the leg out there. That takes a lot of strength. And slowly coming down. Samasatihi. And then from here, I'm going to take us over to the wall where we're going to do some prep poses for incline plank. So I'll meet you at the wall. So now we made it to the wall where I'm going to teach a prep for incline handstand, and then I'm going to teach the incline handstand. And the reason I'm teaching this pose is because it's very empowering, and all of my students can do it, and a couple of them are in their 80s. But more so than that, it's builds strength, and numbers are going down with osteoporosis, and I'm really happy about that. So it builds strength and endurance. But it does take some courage. So let's go ahead and turn around, and this is the prep. So we're going to hinge at our hips and come forward. Take your hands to the wall, and now you're going to elevate your shoulders. So elevate your shoulders and then roll them away from your ears, so they're not rolling in. You're elevating and you're rolling away. Now notice what's going on in the lower body. Try not to just arch and try not to be rounded. So really pull the belly in. If you have to bend your knees a little, that's fine. And then push and try to find that nice neutral spine. So remember, I'm not here, it's neutral. And push. And then from here, really reach the arms. This is what I want you to feel in that incline handstand. So we're gonna rise up, take note of where your feet are. This is a little easy for me because I have patterns on my yoga mat, which I find really helpful. So wherever your feet were, you just turned around and kept them there. And then put your hands down about maybe a hand width away. And then we're gonna step back into a downward dog here. And just feel, it might be a little bit more of a lengthened down dog. Now we're gonna walk up. Imagine this was a wall, right? I have a ladder, which actually makes it a little bit more scary. But if you had a wall, you just put your foot on the wall and try to lift up and find that same shape we had. And then climb up as high as you need and push back towards the wall. Maybe I can go a little higher, right? And I'm elevating and I'm not sinking. I'm pulling the tail under, pull the belly in. You can keep your head down and really reach. Try not to let your shoulders come forward at all. Reach. And then slowly, very lightly push and see if you can come down. And then we rise up for a moment. Hopefully that went really well. But even if you didn't get your legs off the ground, you still get that sense of push. So now let's go ahead and come down to the ground. So now we're gonna come down to the floor. So let's reach up, inhale. Exhale, fold. And that took courage if you tried that for the first time. So we're just gonna mellow out a little bit. Let's take it to downward facing dog and just breathe here. And then come to the knees. Let's do Adho Mukha Virasana. So feet together, knees apart. I'm gonna do it with blocks. It gives you a little height if you wanna try that. Inhale here. So you can really melt the chest down. And I'm elevating the shoulders and rolling them away from my ears. And there's a bit of a back bend going on, but only go, listen to your body, only go where your body feels good. You don't want to overload the shoulders. And then let's try here now puppy stretch, which is pretty similar, but we're keeping the hips over the knees as best we can. And then reaching the arms forward. And now see if you can melt. But don't overdo, don't collapse. You want to keep the shoulders elevating and rolling away from your ears. And just take it to where it feels good in your body. So even if you're way up here, it doesn't matter. And rise. We're trying to really open this up in these stretches. Let's come to Virasana. So knees together. And I'm going to use blocks because I have osteoarthritis in my knees. And I'm taking it to a place where I don't have fear, but it still feels good. I'm using my thumbs here to create a little bit more space in the back of my knees, so I'm just pressing down. Feels good. The feet are just outside the hips, and you want to get to a place where you can sit up really tall. And then let's take Yana Mudra, which are the first is the thumb and the index finger. The thumb is universal consciousness, intelligence, and the index finger is the individual. So they join, and Yana is knowledge. So we're going to a place where we're seeking that courage and just sit in that for a moment and just be. So let the breath become very normal and just be in a place of showing up. And now stay in that energy. As we come into a back bend, the energy changes. It starts to, the heart rate picks up. You start to notice a little bit more kind of a fiery feeling. But it can be good if you do it in steps and stages. So let's just take the hands here, these angel arms. And I love this because the back is engaged. You feel the shoulder blades going down and widening. And just go to a place that feels really good and then reach. And if it feels really good to be here, just stay here. Your back is engaged. Maybe you want to come here. And then we slowly come out and pause. Now we're going to take it to Ustrasana. So we rise up. I like to use the blocks here. They give nice height. But if you didn't have blocks, you could have your feet like this because that would raise it up a little higher. Or some of you might not need props. That's okay too. So let's think about what goes on here in the back body, right? You want to engage those under the butt muscles, right? So it's almost like your pubic bone is coming up. And then we want to engage the upper back muscles. So we can start to reach the arms back and engage those muscles, right? Feel the back. And then as you reach for the blocks, if you notice you came back to do that, that's okay. Just come back forward, and lift up. So lift up, and rise. Hopefully that felt great. Now we're gonna take it to some seated positions. So we're gonna go ahead and come to seated, and just let your legs come out in front of you. We'll sit up nice and tall. Let's come into Paschimottanasana. So after that back bend, it feels really nice. You can bend the knees for a moment. And then from there, if you needed to, you could use your towel or your belt and get your back really lengthened and then straighten the legs. Pull the shoulders away from your ears as you pull forward. Some of you might not need the towel, in which case you just pull and just surrender here. Find just a letting go. Breathe. We're releasing the back bends now. We're kind of stretching the back, keeping the back nice and supple because we're moving it in both directions, right? And rise up. That's what I love about this practice. We do twists, we do side bends, back bends, forward bends. And the spine must love that, right? So let's come into Padottanasana. So take your feet together and you can move your butt forward. In this Padottanasana, try to open your feet like a book. And then from here, inhale and exhale. Just come forward enough that you're feeling a nice stretch. You can relax your head down, but you want to keep your spine long. So in the back, in the lower back. You can round the upper back, that's fine. Breathe. Take a couple more breaths, really trying to open those knees. And then inhale, rise up. Now we're going to move the feet forward into more of a diamond shape, just like this. And you could use a prop here. We're going to round the spine now. Pull the belly in, round the spine, and just let your head come down. And keep it restorative, just keep it nice. Maybe some of you are here. Just breathe, relax your shoulders. I'm feeling some outer hips and some inner. Just notice where you feel that. And then inhale, rise up. And now I'm going to roll back onto the blocks. So I'm going to set one where the bottom edge of my shoulder blades is, so it's the opposite side of my sternum. And the other one is for my head. So as I go back, I'm curling back, pull the belly in, curl back. I kind of set that up. And then the other one's at my head. And now I'm going to bend the knees. And I'm taking the butt back, feeling this nice arch. And now elevate the shoulders and roll them away from your ears and reach. There's a nice back bend, right? Reach. So if you don't think of it as a back bend as much as you think of it as a back engagement, right? You're engaging the back and opening the front. Maybe that's an easier way to look at it. I think it helps me. And then let's go ahead and come out of this. So now we're going to curl the spine. So slowly, notice you're coming out of a back bend, you're pulling in and lifting up. But you have the block for support, so it's a little easier to get up. Now we're going to come down, inhale and exhale, and come all the way down. And we'll bend the knees, and we'll come into Setu Bandhasana. So inhale here, exhale, lift up. Now, if you want to come into more of a shoulder opening variation, you could do a couple things. You could grab the sides of your mat and try to roll your shoulders open, but not too much. You don't want your neck to be crunched up. So just enough that you feel the back engage. Some of you can interlace your hands, right? But again, don't over squeeze. You still want a width along the neck. So lift up, do what feels good in your body. and breathe. And then we're going to release the hands and come down. And you can feel free to do this a few times, but I'm going to go ahead and also teach Urdhva Dhanurasana, which can be kind of scary for some people. Some people have a hard time getting up into it, and sometimes it's best to do that with a teacher. But if it's something you want to try, I'm going to go ahead and explain that now. So I'll set up at the wall and I'll meet you there. So now we made it to the wall, and I set up my blocks at a nice angle here, and it's going to give me a little bit of height and make it a little easier on the wrists. So if it was at the wall, it would just look like that, at an angle. Some people like to do it like this. That's okay. Like I said, my students, I don't know, we seem to like that angle a little better on the wrist, but that's up to you. And then we just set that up. Then we come and lie down. And this is one of those poses that I never really feel like doing, but every time I do it, I feel amazing. And it's very strengthening in the back and opening in the front, Urdhva Dhanurasana. But sometimes it's a little difficult to lift up into it, and it might even take the assistance of a teacher. But if you wanted to give it a go, just bend the knees, right? And feel the activation of the back body. So first I'm gonna feel the legs a lot, right? And then come to the top of the head as best you can, and then try to lift up using the back muscles, right? And then once I'm here, I adjust. I walk the feet in, I adjust, and I try and straighten the legs as best I can and lift up. I keep trying to lift up, engaging the back, elevating the arms, rolling them away, the shoulders away from the ears, lifting. And then when you come down, try to slowly curl your spine down. So I like to lift my heels, draw my chin down, pull the belly in, and curl all the way down. So it would be fine if you did that, but it would be great if you were still in Setu Bandhasana. That's fine. Just do whatever feels good in your body. So you could do Urdhva Dhanurasana a couple more times if that felt good. And pause the video. But now we're going to go into some nice releases. So let's just go ahead, take the feet nice and wide. Take the arms out to the side. Let your knees fall to the left. Let the knees come up, let them gently fall to the right, keeping your shoulders open. And we'll do that again. Just windshield wiper your legs out. It does feel kind of nice after Urdhva Dhanurasana. And come up. And then let's come to a closing. So we'll do a supported inversion. I'm going to scoot a little forward, and I'm going to grab one of these blocks, lift my pelvis up, and just put the butt on the block and lift your legs up and engage the legs so you're really feeling the front work so the back can open. And you could stay here, especially if you have osteoporosis and it's contraindicated to come into plow pose. But I'm going to come into Halasana. And this is really nice with the wall because you can play around with your feet. Make sure your neck is long. You can support your back here. Just go wherever feels good in your body and breathe, or stay on the block. Some of you might want to come into shoulder stand, that's fine. You can play around with variations here. Do whatever feels good in your body. I like to bend the knees. And slowly I'm going to come back. So take your time if you're exploring that. Otherwise, we meet here. We'll take the legs down. Let's go ahead and lift up, come off the block. Let's come into this figure 4 stretch. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. Go ahead and pull in. Feel that glute on this right side. Notice you have tension in your shoulders. Can you release that? And then we take it down. We'll do the other side. And pull in. Shoulders release. And we'll finish with a nice twist. I want you to focus on what's going on in your shoulders. So lift the hips up. Let's go ahead and shift them to the right. And then let the knees come up. As we go into this twist, I want you to notice what's going on in the shoulders. So the knees come over to the left. See, my right shoulder comes up. That's okay. Now I'm gently guiding my knee down, and I'm gently turning my left ribs to the right and my gaze to the right and trying to encourage that shoulder to go down. Just encourage it. And then inhale, let the knees come up. And then we're going to lift the hips up, shift them to the left. Let the knees come up and take the knees over to the right. And now notice this left shoulder pops up. That's okay. I'm going to turn the right ribs to the left, draw the shoulder down. So I'm really trying to open it. And then see if it just naturally kind of comes down. And breathe, and then just let your head follow. Breathe. And then inhale, bring everything back. Twists feel so great, especially after a nice, pretty vigorous class. Let's go ahead and grab the knees and just kind of curl up for a moment, relaxing your neck and shoulders. And then let everything release into Savasana. No fear, just be happy and for all the courage. And you can feel good about that you did this class, you tried things, and you're present for it. And stay in that light. And you can stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. You can pause the video. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out. So just become aware of your breath and slowly moving fingers and toes, but staying in that energy. And we'll bend the knees, make our way over to fetal position, pausing here, and then taking your time to come to seated. And I always like to finish class the way we started, in a nice seated position, and just notice, where are you now in your body, in your mind? And can you stay in that place where you're open and courageous, and you just get started and go, and then spread this light into everything you do. Namaste.